Hey, this is Andrew Brown from Exam Pro, and we are looking at provisioning. And so provisioning is just an easy way to set up a bunch of AWS resources for you or your servers in an automated way. And this could be done via code, or it could be done via a graphical user interface, okay? And so AWS has a variety of different services that can help us with provisioning. So let's just learn the difference between all these services, starting with Elastic Beanstalk. So Elastic Beanstalk is really good at deploying web applications where you don't have to think about the underlying infrastructure at all. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna prepare your code, you're gonna upload it to Elastic Beanstalk, choose the container you want to use with the language of choice, and it will more or less work with very little to no configuration. So if you're using Ruby on Rails, you just choose the Ruby container, upload your code, and it would work. And if you wanted to use Django, then you just choose the Python container, etc., etc. Okay. I like to think of Elastic Beanstalk as the Heroku for AWS. So if you've ever used Heroku, it's just a service where you not part of AWS, but you just upload your code and it just works, okay? Moving on to OpsWorks. OpsWorks is a configuration management service, and it's going to help you the management help you with the configuration of your instances using either Chef or Puppet. So those are just two different developer tools that you can use to programmatically set up a server. So for Chef, you're actually using Ruby. That's what it's written in. And so you would define these things called recipes, and those recipes would go out and set up things on your actual EC2 server. So if you had to install dependencies or pull the code or do a bunch of other stuff, that's what those tools are going to do. And OpsWorks also has a concept called layers. So you can define your infrastructure as like 3-tier or 2-tier layers. So you could have like an application layer, a database layer, a networking layer. And it just makes things very clear, okay? Moving on to CloudFormation. CloudFormation is infrastructure as code. And so the idea here is that you are creating a JSON or a YAML file. And what you're going to do is you're going to define all of your AWS resources that you want to provision and exactly how you want to configure them. And you're going to upload that template, and then it's going to set everything up for you in one go. Okay, so CloudFormation is an extremely powerful provisioning tool. And so compared to OpsWorks, OpsWorks has some limitations as to what it can do. So it can set up some things for you, but CloudFormation can do anything pretty much in AWS, okay? So it is the most complex option, but it is also the most flexible option in our provisioning tool set here. Moving on to AWS Quick Starts. These are just pre-made packages, which actually are just CloudFormation templates, and they are created by AWS or with AWS third-party providers through the APN network, okay? And so they are going to have these prepackaged templates for a variety of different things. And we do cover Quick Start in more detail here in this course. But the idea is, like, let's say you wanted to get started with ML, you'd go to the ML category, and there would be a bunch of pre-made CloudFormation templates, and you just launch one, okay? So you'd have to take a look to see what there is there, but it is a provisioning tool. Moving on to AWS Marketplace. This is a digital catalog of thousands of software listings from independent software vendors where you can find, buy, test, and deploy software. Okay, and so generally you're going to be using the marketplace to buy managed EC2 instances. So let's say you needed to set up a WordPress, you could go into the AWS Marketplace and find an AMI for WordPress. So one that is very popular is by Bitnami. And so the advantage here is that it's just pre-configured for you, and maybe it has additional security hardening. And so you would pay a monthly subscription to use that, okay? So those are all of our provisioning options on AWS.